The Glideboard hamstring curl and hip extension is a great exercise for developing the muscles of the posterior chain, primarily being the glutes and the hamstrings. Glutes as hip extensors, we get into this position. Okay, hamstrings also contribute to hip extension, but also knee flexion, which is this. Okay, now a lot of people train these independent of each other. They actually work really well together to extend the hip as their primary focus, okay, with also the hamstrings providing that knee flexion. All right, extension is where we open a joint, flexion is where we close a joint. All right, so a couple of variations for the Glideboard hamstring curls. This is quite a difficult exercise. It looks relatively easy, but it's actually quite difficult. Okay, you can use a TRX to do this, which adds a lot of instability. Okay, for most people, not going to be a great option to go to first up. Okay, you can also use furniture sliders. So these are proper glide boards, which you can get from any fitness store. All right, but you can also use furniture sliders where you go to Bunnings or some other hardware store, and you can basically get something similar like this, where you can pick up a couch, put that down, okay, and then you just slide it across the carpet. So you can buy them for like 10 bucks, 15 bucks or something like that for a set. All right, so what I'm going to do is set myself up. A couple of variations here that I want to think about. Okay, it's all about firing the glutes and the hamstrings. So if I'm not getting the right muscles firing, I'm not hitting the right targets, then I'm going to choose a different variation. All right, so option one, I'm going to set myself up. All right, feet are going to be hip width, hips, knees, ankles, all aligned. What I'm going to do is drag my heels in. Okay, I've got no load on my glutes and hamstrings right now. Then I'm going to tuck my tailbone under, back goes flat, abs are on, my pelvis is now stabilized, drive the hips high, glutes are firing, hamstrings are firing. Now I'm going to maintain this straight line from knees through to shoulders, abs are still on, and I go out nice and slow, loading the hamstrings through eccentric contraction. Pause, drop the hips, drag it in, drive, tuck, abs on, glutes on, hamstrings loaded. Nice and slow. I want to take 5 to 10 seconds to get out. Pause in this position, squeeze without letting the lower back sag, drop. Okay, that is eccentric focused. Very difficult. I can also do isometrics. Okay, isometrics, we get really good contraction and engagement through those target muscles at that specific joint angle. So if I want to strengthen this position, boom, drive up, squeeze glutes, squeeze hamstrings. Maybe I hold this for 30 seconds. All right, maybe I do that 3 times. Accumulate, 90 seconds. All right, I can also go into this position. Now I'm going to get strength and connection at this joint angle. Again, tuck the tailbone under, drive the hips up, hamstrings on. Hold that. All right, accumulate 30 seconds, rest, go again. All right. Then I can also go here, tuck the tailbone under, glutes on, abs on, hamstrings on, working through extension. Again, accumulate 30 seconds. All right, that really gets my hamstrings firing and my glutes are firing as well. Okay, now I can feel that a little bit in my lower back. That means that I'm probably not engaged as well as I could be through the hips, so there's some muscles that are taking over in the back. All right, next option, I'm working through concentric, which is muscle shortening, eccentric, muscles lengthening, as well as isometrics, okay, where we pause on those end ranges. Okay, this one's probably the hardest. Concentric, muscle shortening, is actually our weakest contraction. So I pull my heels in, at the same time I elevate my hips. Go through hip extension whilst I go through knee flexion. Pause, squeeze. Nice and controlled. Find that end range, pause, squeeze, pull, drive. All right, and I'm going to accumulate 5 to 10 reps there, or about 30 seconds. Okay, choose a variation that suits you, that is giving you the adaptation that you're looking for, right muscles firing at the right time in the right order, whilst also creating stability, good quality connection to those target muscles.